Well, hello, good evening. We are live. It is Tuesday evening, and here is Estelle, and she's going like, "Oh, what the hell happened here?" Yeah, I know our intro always puts people right in the right mood. So it's like here, we're waiting for Kellyanne though, but we decided we'd not let you wait too long. Kellyanne is just feeding the little humans at the moment, so she's gonna come as soon as possible. Um, Let me introduce you to our awesome guest. And I just had the other day a Zoom meeting with her, which was just intended to be a 30-minute quick chat, and it ended out 2 hours. And it was really a pleasure. Estelle Poiré, she's actually as well a member in the Go Giver Success Alliance. And that's how we met, actually. And she is in the beautiful city of Quebec City, which is absolutely stunning area. If you ever go to Canada, definitely go around there and visit the city. I really love the city as well. So, how are you, Estelle?
Oh, I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Yes. What
You
about
just came
you?
back. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You came from Montreal today, didn't you? You just drove down from Montreal, didn't you? No.
Absolutely. Yeah. I came back from Montreal. That was so much fun. I visit my cousin on Friday, and then on Saturday, I visit a friend, and we went to Atwater Market. And the weather was really pleasant. And I was in that mood in that mood, I was really excited. And so I drove from the south of Montreal, south shore of Montreal, around Brossard, and then I drove on this new bridge. And for some reason, I was feeling super emotional. I was like, "Oh my God, look at this brand new bridge that they built!" And I thought to myself, man, this is crazy. It's just a bridge, right? But I thought, wow, this is so beautiful. It's just, I'm so lucky. I get to drive my car on this bridge. And I was just looking everywhere. And I thought, man, I got to focus on the road, right? But it was just so pleasant. And yeah, just the weather, it was supposed to be cloudy and raining. And it was sunny.
Oh,
It was
wow. That's good.
sunny. We had a little snack and
There she is. Welcome, Kellyanne.
Hey, sorry,
Kellyanne.
hungry
So
child was
no worries.
calling.
Look at her. Did you do you know now? As tell why I said to you earlier when Kellyanne said, "Oh, she feels crap and she looks horrible." Look, that's what she looks like when she feels crap and horrible.
Feel
So,
rough.
you look awesome, girl.
Oh,
uh,
thank you. Yeah, I
but
don't feel
anyway,
it.
but I
Very
do
hot.
appreciate it very hard.
Yeah,
And you're not
yeah.
in this age yet, hun. Actually.
Not quite, not quite. No, no. It's
uh,
been a rough
no,
day.
pretty rough day, which is but you see, I do appreciate, and that's what we still turn up here because we do believe that is still the thing. I even ask her, is okay, and I know you're testing for COVID right now, are you coming up? And she's like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be rough, but I'll be there. And I think that's what it is all about. Our life is until we one of us dies, basically we're both going to turn up here Tuesdays.
Pretty
Anyway,
much.
can meet Estelle, our lovely Estelle, and we are so happy to have her today.
Hi.
So before we get started in what you do, Estelle, actually, we have something what we call the quick question round. Kellyanne is the starter always, and I end up with a question. And it's just a little bit. No, it's an internal joke in between the two of us. You will see in a minute. So, anyway, so Kellyanne, go away.
Yep, you ready? Cool. Okay. Morning or night?
Night.
Night. Pizza or pasta?
Oh, pizza.
Favorite music?
Oh, Jamiroquai.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Favorite color?
Oh, purple.
Purple.
The famous person that you'd like to have coffee with and why?
Oh, Louise Arbour. She was at the top of the. Oh my goodness, how do we translate that? She was one of these high grade officer at the UN, and she was, Louise Arbour, she was all for fighting criminals and terrorism, and she's a badass. And she thought, you know what? I don't care if people love me or not. I don't care. I have a job to do. I'm fully passionate about it, and I'm gonna go for it. So
Love it.
yeah, that's why I really admire this woman. Really, really.
Women power. Actually, that's where you
Yes,
go. It's
yes,
like that's like
yes,
okay.
yes.
Dog, dog or cat?
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. I'd like to say both, but I'll go with cat for now.
Okay.
Bath or shower?
Oh, shower.
Okay. Pina colada or Long Island iced tea?
Oh, pina colada.
Pina colada.
Would you prefer to be out in the club or having a romantic dinner at home?
Oh, romantic dinner at home.
Okay. Paris or London?
Oh, Paris.
Paris, hein? Bien sûr.
Book or TV?
But what?
Book or
or
TV?
Oh, book. Yes.
Okay. And the historical person, so that is past, you would have liked to have met and why?
Historical. Oh my goodness, Leonardo da Vinci.
All right.
Because
And why?
I guess, not only was he an amazing artist, he had this engineer, this kind of brain of an engineer, so he was like, I guess, beyond, his mind was really advanced for the
Yeah,
century he was living in. So that was, yeah.
for sure. You have the last one.
Oh, I haven't got it. That was all the
No?
ones that I had. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe then I should
You're
have
making one
started,
up.
mate. No, no, it's like, okay, final one is chameleon or flamingo?
Oh, flamingo.
Oh, she's gonna be happy. She's gonna be happy. She is gonna be happy because you see here that goes. It's our fight.
Flamingo. Flamingo all the
Yeah,
way.
flamingo all the way. There you go. It's like, it just has to do something with the flamingos I have everywhere in my office, and I say I'm a chameleon, so it's our alter ego actually. So Kellyanne is the flamingo, I'm the chameleon, so that's why we have this. Anyway, so again, a pleasure to have you on the show. So tell us what you do in a nutshell. I know you're doing decluttering. That is the big subject here. We're talking about decluttering, but decluttering not only in the house, decluttering everywhere. So tell us what you do.
Absolutely. So I basically accompany women at the moment, but it applies to everyone of all ages. I basically accompany people to reconnect with their inner happiness through decluttering themselves internally, emotionally, not just, oh yeah, change my mindset and all that. It's really emotionally and externally through decluttering, getting rid of the stuff that we have, and the decluttering the life experiences, the ones that we don't want, focus on the ones we want, and also the people in our lives. So that's really an internal work, an emotional work, and also an external work. And it always starts with the internal work. Otherwise, the external work is feels a bit incomplete. So that's what I do. That's what I do. My tagline, I could say, is heal your internal world so you can be more intentional with your outside world. So how can we
Beautiful.
Amazing.
I really love that because, Estelle, that is something. I mean, we talked the other day about, I did recently, I reread the book and I restarted doing the external decluttering where I said, okay, I did Marie Kondo and I love this woman because the way how she just goes and actually tells you as well to just give gratitude to every item. We completely forget it. We discard things and we don't even think that they have served us for some reason, and that's why I thought it was a really, really important process when I had the mountain of clothes, and I just had three full black bags of clothes that I threw away. And I didn't throw them away because I gave them to charity. But the funny thing was just actually when I was doing that and I stood in front of it, I got really emotional about it because I was like, holy cow, how much clothes do you actually own here that doesn't serve you anymore? And I even had things that I put away that I bought and I never worn, which is kind of the silly thing in life, what you do. But then again, Marie Kondo says at that point, you even have to thank these items because they have served you a purpose. And the purpose was that it's not what you want to wear. And it was really funny how she said it. And I said, you have a point here, hon, because actually I learned it. I was not going to buy something like this again. But what I find really more interesting, as I hear this internal decluttering, because we are so, how could I say that, messed up in our head with emotions and sentiments that we have accumulated. And I'm very open about it. Me just going recently through CPTSD trauma, um, where all these things come up, and you realize how emotionally attached you are. Your mood, your feelings, everything is attached to these stories that sit in your brain that are not gone, they're just there. And when you do that, and I really love what you said, declutter as well the people around you, the people that don't serve you, that have never served you actually. And I know I read because on the Go Giver Alliance we had this Friday member spot, and where you talked about your 18-year-old you, what you would say to this person. And I want you to tell them that, because I know what you said, but I want you to tell it. And I really loved what you said. So what
Um,
did you tell Estelle at 18?
um, if I would see myself, if I would see my 18-year-old self, I would tell her. I mean, it's it's so strong. I would tell her, um, just leave your toxic home. It's dysfunctional. It's toxic. It's not serving you. It's not serving you. And I guess we all have the answers inside of us, even as child or as teenagers, as young adults. I mean, I knew all my life something was not going right. I knew it was a very toxic household. I knew that. It's just that I just didn't really know how to make the move. So yeah, I would just tell her, just get the hell out as fast as possible, and just find a mentor, find somebody who can say, okay, you know what, you're not crazy. The little voice inside of you has spoke, sometimes yelled. In my life it happened a lot. I don't know for you guys.
Oh,
um,
yes.
the voice
Yeah.
the voice inside of me was screaming for all these years, get the hell out, it's toxic. And I kept, just I kept staying there, right? But yeah, just, you can do this. Find a mentor, and find a support group that is really going to help you to detach yourself from that toxic situation. And they were your parents, obviously, but it's just a toxic environment, and you're not able to move forward. So please get out as fast as you can. And that's, I mean, I wish I could have said something more sexy, probably, but that's all I could think of, because that was my situation at 18 years old. I guess I was in college or something, but I was kind of living with my parents at that time. So it's like I was remaining in that toxic environment.
Mm.
It's like it was destroying me at all levels. So
Mm.
yeah.
And it's really, it's like this, being this vulnerable as well. And you said like, well, you could say something more sexy. No, you can, because I mean, I went through the same. I mean, as I said, my trauma is coming from my parents abusing me physically, mentally, and sexually, um, from people that you wouldn't think, because they were high up in society. To the outside world, it was the perfect family, right? But the reality to it was completely different. Now, for me, unfortunately, well, I did walk out, but it's, I think, 16. I walked out, and I said that was it. But then, how funny it is that I didn't even have a recollection of all what happened until just last year or this year, where it all came out, where I said, okay, here you see how good our mind is actually closing up. And I did certainly not do this declutter work because I just locked it up. I knew that they were mentally abusive to me, but a lot of other things that I even said to mom about my mom. She was dead now 35 years or plus. Until all the time, I always said, well, growing up in a cult, number one, was one thing, but I walked out many years ago. And then I always said my father was the culprit. And I said my mom loved me, my mom was great. But actually, now as I have the full recollection, it wasn't, my mom wasn't any better. She beat me up with a belt buckle and and things like that. I mean, she did the same thing to me. She was mentally abusive to me. They were just narcissistic people. Now, I recently talked on my podcast about forgiving, and that was really a difficult episode for me to do because I'm picking these affirmation cards and I'm going through them like on a daily basis. At the moment, I'm not doing it daily. I'm doing like 2-3 times a week because I'm really busy with other things. But I was going through that and I was like, okay, here we go. Be forgiving. And the first reaction was, I'm not going to do this. I pick another card, pick another card, pick another card. But then I said, no, heck, I'll sit down. And I actually did write down the script for that podcast, and then went to bed. I couldn't sleep. And in the morning, when I got up at 5:30, I said, no, screw the script. Screw it all. Just say what you feel. And a lot of people confuse the forgiveness with accepting things. There's a big difference between forgiving somebody and actually the amend part. And you don't have to amend, because something what people do when you say they're toxic in your life, you cannot, that cannot be undone. It cannot. You can declutter it, you can detach the emotion to it, which I have. But the first step for me was forgiving myself and forgive them. I forgive them because I say, they're just, I'm sorry, I'm saying that here loud, and I don't care. I'm a person like really direct. They're fucked up people. So I forgive them for what they did to me. But I didn't forget it. And I'm not going to give amends, and I'm not going to validate what they did to me, because this is not the point. And I love the way how you say that. It's just, we now look back and said we should have actually stood up. We should have done that. But it's all these shouldas. Actually, but it's still good. You realize now as a grown adult, yeah, I did my decluttering there and I just walked out. But yeah, we could have done it earlier. But it's never too late to do that. But I think it comes then as well in a lot of your work where you say helping people to find themselves back and get all this crap that's sitting there out of their head. And I think that's where your work becomes really interesting here for me. It's like so many things that we keep in emotion and fixed onto it, and we don't want to let go. It's kind of ludicrous actually, because we hold on as well to negative emotions for feelings. I don't know how you see that. Oh, she froze.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Oh no. Something had to happen. Come on. It is our show.
It's our show. It's like something that had to happen. Oh, she's gone, and I'm sure she's going to come back.
Yeah.
But it's like
It's always the way.
it's interesting, isn't it? It's like, and I have to bring her back. She's gone. Oh
Oh,
God. Yeah. Anyway, how are you doing now? You feeling all right?
I'm all right.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
I could sleep for a week, I think. But it's what it is, isn't it? You just have to get on with it.
Yeah, but well,
Yeah.
busy
You
week as well. Ah, there she is. Okay, now
Yay.
I bring you back, Estelle. Now, but I have to bring out Kelly. I have to Kelly in. Now I have to remove Kelly in, and then I put Kelly in back to the stream. So now we all back in the order again.
My apologies. I don't know. I was listening to you and my computer just shut off. I don't know what happened.
These things happen. It's like Kellyanne and I were saying, it wouldn't be our show if everything goes right. See, I talked to it about earlier, Estelle, and that's the thing. So I do find it really interesting. As I say, it's just me holding on to these emotions, and I think that's where your work comes in very, very much. Importantly, to just let us well go of these negative emotions. For it's really ludicrous. We're holding on to these negative emotions as well, which don't serve us in any way, but we still hold on to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I did the work myself a few years ago. I started the work myself a few years ago, and and you know, I realized that all this kind of traumatic experience, this life traumatic experience of growing up in that family with a highly codependent mother and a toxic father who's pretty fucked up, just like you said earlier, Chris. That's there's no other way to say it. And
Yeah.
I guess that I realized that this was going to be this traumatic experience was going to be part of my internal computer all my life. It's just that over time, I will be capable of talking about it without feeling so emotional or feeling so angry. Um, and that's okay. I will never be able to forget that, but it will be less painful. And that's the important thing. It's always going to be with me. And so I did the work with a wonderful doctor and his team, Dr. Daniel Dufour, and I did seminar and like a workshop where we basically acknowledge, this happened to me. I'm upset. And I've been carrying this anger, for all these years, and I'm just going to release it. And when I say releasing it, oh my goodness, it's violent. And it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful, And so he helped us, to find, how could I say, like the tools on a daily basis to acknowledge, hey, you know what? This guy who was still gating me, I hate the guy, and I'm upset and I'm going to be upset. That's it.
Hmm.
And oh, this situation happened and I'm sad about it and I'm going to cry.
Hmm.
And that's it. I have the right to be upset. I have the
Yes.
right to be sad. And you know what? I also have the right to be happy about something, to feel joy about something. And I guess that I'm using that as part of my business.
Hmm.
So how do you work with people then, Estelle? Is it one-to-one? Is it groups? How do you do that with people?
It's mostly one-on-one at the moment. So I do both the internal, the emotional decluttering, and also the external. But I gotta say
Okay.
something. I love your question. I gotta say the one-on-one is great because we focus a lot more on the internal in the one-on-one sessions, because once we identify what is making you happy or what is making you sad or what is making you upset, it's a lot easier then to allow, so that that person allows herself or himself to feel all these emotions. And it's a lot easier than to say, okay, well, these three things, the stuff, oh, it's a lot easier for me now because I feel a lot more empowered, a lot more confident to decide all by myself, okay, I'm going to get rid of this stuff and this stuff and this stuff. And I'm feeling great about it. And I'm feeling confident about it. And I'm going to decide because now I respect myself more and I love myself more because I'm identifying all these emotions stuck inside of me and I'm releasing them. I'm expressing them. Oh, this life experience, I love it. Oh, this other life experience, I don't like this. And I'm going to put an end to it. And it's the same with people. That person, I know very well deep inside of me that that person doesn't serve me. This person doesn't add value to my life. This person is dragging me down. This person is not like a cheerleader. So I'm going to let that person go and I'm going to focus on the people that are really like gems to my life. I'm going to add people who will be gems to my life. So yeah, I guess it's a very long, long answer for a
No. But
target.
it's perfect because you put in the finger to it, because it's like, I think Bob Burke said recently in a master call we had on a Wednesday there at Rachel's, where he was talking about we have to accept as well that there's a certain percentage of people, they never get on your side, and whatever you do, you never get them on your side. But we still keep these people in our environment. And I have done the same thing just recently, where I went literally through my phone and looked at messages and looked at contacts that haven't. I just looked at the messages as well and I said, it's always me sending a message. Delete, delete, delete. And I kept doing that. I deleted, I don't know, probably 250 contacts out of my phone. Just because they're not adding value to me. And if I have to constantly, I get that everybody's busy in life. That's the given. But if after about 4 or 5 times you did not engage in any conversation and it's always me doing that, then there's something wrong here. And then you shouldn't be in my life because you're not adding value to me. I'm chasing behind you. And why should I chase behind you? Because, this is like a two-way communication. That's one of the biggest issues we have in our life right now. Communication is a two-way line, right? It's not a one-way route. And I feel sometimes that you're just in this one-way route. People don't even engage. Well, if they want something from you, they get to you, they find you. That is the funny thing. It's always, and I could actually see that in a message. Oh, they wanted something from me, then they reached out to me. But otherwise, it was always me reaching out, and I'm like, no, not doing that anymore. And it's such a liberating thing, actually, when you let go of these people, because you realize they're just pulling you down. You just get upset. And you say, okay, when I turned 50, that was actually when it happened. So I had my crisis a couple of days before that. And then I turned 50. And I looked at the people that actually sent me a message to celebrate or to say happy birthday. It's not about that, but in the ages of Facebook, sorry, you get even a message when it's my birthday. So, these people for certainly got notified by Facebook that it was my 50th birthday, right? So you don't even reach out to me, gone you were. It's not about wishing me happy birthday. It's about the fact, actually, that people are just toxic. They only me. And this entire society has become so me orientated. How refreshing is the Go Giver Alliance, where we actually don't look only at me. We look at everything else. We look actually to give value to other people first. And yes, we are open for receiving, but first of all, the biggest gift you're giving to the world is yourself. And I find that really refreshing, because we're there together with people that think the same way. I mean, we three sitting here, we all thinking the same way. But the amount of toxic people you have in your life is just incredible. And when you do the work, as you said, it's quite liberating because you're getting rid of them. So when a customer comes to you and says, "Oh, well, but I want to declutter my life physically, in the physical universe," let's call it in the physical universe, what are your strategies there? Because I find that very interesting, because I know I love Marie Kondo, but that's just one way to do it. Do you have your own strategy and say, okay, let go? Because we attach things to, I'm prone to actually keeping things for emotional reasons. I don't know why. I'll keep things, and I'm like, so much crap in my house that I don't really need. And I'm like, why you still have that? It's like that.
I always ask people, how they are doing at the moment. What's going on in their life? I like to question them about their life. What's going on at this moment in their life, in their relationships?
Mhm.
And then I usually end with my band-aid question, this band-aid question where you remove the band-aid super quickly. And usually I don't get liked for it so much, but it's a question that I find very interesting. It's how much sadness or anger do you have in your purchases? And that's not a very sexy question, but that's a very important question, because what if creation could be the new consumption, right? How many times do we buy all kinds of stuff for ourselves that we know very well we don't need, and we still buy them? Why is that? Comes back to my question: how much sadness or anger do you have in your purchases? Each purchase has a story, right? Each tag that is remaining on on a piece of clothing that is in your closet that you never wore is has a story. What is that story? And that's an important story. So yeah, and often people are like, well, I just bought this because I like it. And I said, yeah, but you know how much sadness or anger. Usually I switch to frustration because people confuse anger with violence. They don't like to hear about violence. It scares them, right? And anger is expressing anger for ourselves and by ourselves, right? There's no violence involved. So, but anyways, I usually switch to frustration. So how much sadness and frustration can you find in your shopping bags? And that's usually when people start thinking, oh shit, yeah, yeah, you know. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not perfect because I'm a clutter-free living strategist. I got in my kitchen. I can say that I probably have more spatulas that I need. Why do I have more spatulas that I need and I keep them? Why? Because I bought them out of sadness or frustration. I remember that. We all remember. We all know. We all have the answers inside. I see you guys smiling here. You probably have a story too, right? A story of a purchase.
Oh,
You know.
definitely.
All
My
right.
favorite. Oh gosh. So
Hit
my
me.
worst experience was so I went on Grit Rock when we had the Ebola response in Sierra Leone, and I turned into a mad shopping woman. I wasn't even in this country, and I was having parcels delivered every single day to the house with clothes, shoes. My husband was like, "What is going on? Why do you keep buying stuff?" And it's because I was miserable and I had nothing else to do but scroll the internet. So it was like, buy. And it felt good at the time of buying. And then when I got home and saw this mound of things that I had to open after 3.5 months, I was like, what did I do? But you're 100% right, because that was kind of like my comfort of being away. I had the money there and I was just spending it. And it's crazy what we do, like as our sort of way of dealing with situations. But that does make me laugh. Yeah, that was probably the worst I've ever been.
And I'll get that because Amazon is my best friend. And I buy shit on Amazon where I think like, why the hell did I buy that? I mean, I bought 3 microphones. Look, they have one here, one is up there. And I was like, why do I need 3? And I said, yeah, well, because, and it's like, no bloody idea why. It's really funny. And it's like, okay, I'm just really ridiculous. And there's a reason, and as you said, I'm either frustrated or I was angry at something, and it's just like, ooh, let's buy that. The other day I had a really rough day, and I literally bought about 8 different books on Amazon, and I'm like, I still have 12 to read. Why you buy 8 books now? But yeah, I wanted them. I had them on my list. So I said, okay, well, let's go. Dum, 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 dum. And I ordered them all. And it's like, oh, God. It was so bad that even my credit card company, because I bought one after another, really in seconds, my card got blocked. I had to call the credit card company and say, no, it's me doing the purchase. For security reasons, because it was the last book I was buying. And it's like, your payment didn't go through. It's like, what you mean? The payment didn't go through my card. It's okay. And then I got an SMS from the card company, from the bank, saying like, we have blocked your credit card for suspicious transaction. And I said, what?
That's the universe telling you to stop buying books, Chris. Stop.
It's really funny, and it's so true. After you're putting the finger right on the spot, because everybody thinks we buy things because we're happy and brings us joy, but we don't. Well, we do buy as well when we want something that we really want to like and we wear it or whatever, as you said. But I think the majority of it is actually out of frustration or anger or sadness, and that's where we really go on the shopping sprees. And you always look at these people that go with all these bags, and it's like, sometimes I think like, what are they missing in their life, or what actually happened to them in their life, that you go like in a store and you have like 20 bags coming out. I'm like, why? But I do that. I recognize myself in there. I mean, it's clothes buying, the same thing. I always go shopping when I'm either frustrated or had really something happening to me. And then I go clothes shopping. And then I do exactly that. I buy shitloads of clothes. Half of them I never wear. But it's just it is. It's like, yes, I think it boosts your mood for some reason. But it's so interesting that you said that, Estelle, because that really makes me think. It makes me realize you just gave me so much value tonight. My light bulb went just took, and I said, "Holy cow! It's exactly what I do."
It's
fascinating, fascinating. So,
but
what
it's
do
actually?
they?
Sorry, Chris. I said it's actually the first thing that I did when I started getting into coaching as well. Was completely declutter my house. Like the same as you, Chris, all the wardrobes were sorted and stuff given away that I didn't need, even down to organising everything. And energetically, it's quite scary how much of a difference that can make just by sort of sorting out your own, even my car. Like the kids have a habit of stiffing stuff, like in the side pockets, and I hate it now. But literally went through the house, the car, the garage, the lot, and just decluttered everything. And like the shift in energy was crazy. So I guess that's probably part of the reason that you probably go sort of do that with your clients as well, is it, Estelle?
Absolutely. And it's also 2 key words here. It's love and respect for yourself and for other people as well with whom you're living, regardless the amount of people you're living with. And that's one thing that I learned when I did this training program to become an accompanying person, with Dr. Daniel Dufour. You would always say love and respect for yourself. Are you giving yourself daily dose of love? Are you giving yourself daily dose of respect? And I'll give you an example. I'll just give you a very simple example. 2 months ago, I accepted a freelance contract and beautiful opportunity. I said yes. I enjoyed it. However, the truth is, I did not really want to say yes, but I said yes anyway. So, my question is for you too. Do you think that Estelle, at that moment, who knew exactly deep down inside of her, because we all have all the answers inside of us, do you really believe that I gave myself love and respect?
No.
No.
There you go. There you go. It's the same with stuff. It's the same with life experiences. It's the same with people. We know what is good or and what is bad for us.
Hmm.
We know that. Sometimes we have to kind of stumble a bit and, make wrong decisions. But the thing is, I knew I did not want to do that. I enjoyed the experience anyways. But the thing is, I had other plans, but I said yes. I said yes. Why? Because I wanted to please someone else.
Because
I
you felt you
wanted to be
should.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. You nailed it. I wanted to please someone else. And I remember in April, I was in the last chapter of my training program to become an accompanying person, especially on the emotional side, right? And I was telling my colleagues about that, and I felt kind of emotional saying it. And the doctor, he said, Estelle, you don't love yourself and you don't respect yourself. Ouch! It was like a punch in the face, but he was right. I did not love myself when I made that decision. I did not respect myself when I made that decision. I did not love myself and respect myself when I bought this really nice dress, that I never wore, which is still at my mom's place in the closet with the tag on, because obviously I bought the wrong size. And actually, I don't like that dress. I don't like that freaking dress. And it's in the closet at my mom's place. How not sexy is that? You know what? I did not love myself when I bought this thing. And I did not respect myself when I bought this.
Hmm.
It feels so embarrassing to say that, but I know that. Why did I buy that? Because I was feeling sad. I was feeling so sad
Hmm.
and probably angry as well. Something was happening in my life. Maybe I had
Hmm.
a fight with my boyfriend or whatever.
Hmm. And
How
it.
how not sexy is that? But that is so true, and it happens to every single one of us. We buy stuff that we don't need.
A lot.
A
A lot,
lot.
a lot. And we have this and at the same time we have this climate crisis, right? And we have all these things. Most of us have pretty much everything we need.
Hmm.
Do we have everything we want? Probably. Everything we need? Probably. Most likely.
Hmm.
How sad and angry are we?
You make a really good point there as well, because Kellyanne knows I spent a couple of years in Asia, and I was in Myanmar, Burma, for almost 2 years as well. And when I came to Burma, it was still. I mean, it's now again. It happened again, and so she's in prison again. But at that time, it was the military regime there. And something that really did strike me, and I always said this was the best time in my life, because when I got there, as the close country it was, obviously they are Buddhist in the core of being Buddhist, right? And especially Bagan, the temple site with the 4,000 temples, which is Angkor Wat is nothing against Bagan actually. And you have the 4,000 temple, and you see this. What really did strike me there is, and guests that were coming there to visit the sites, they always asked me, but they're really poor people. And I said, it's interesting though, because they live in their bamboo hood. they cook on the floor, basically, in the sun. They build the molds and they put the fire inside, and they cook in there. And but look at the children, they're playing with little wood sticks and things like that. They're happy people. They're actually happy people. And because they had such a simple and simplistic life, actually. And they're not influenced by these mass consumption that we are influenced by. Funny thing happened though, when the country opened up and Aung San Suu Kyi became president and the military was gone. When I was there, the cars, they were from the 60s. They had holes in the bottom of the car. The taxis was just a nightmare. It's like I felt like I was in Havana. Actually, Yangon City looked like Havana with all the colonial style houses from the Brits when they were there. But like I was taken back to the 50s, 60s. Actually, that's how I felt. Right, ATM machines didn't exist. These are all things that didn't exist. They just started to have cell phones. It was just a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, a couple of years ago, I went back to visit my staff down there, and I was shocked at the airport. ATM machines, everything. They had the most modern cars. But then I came to Bagan, and there's beautiful temple site full of plastic. I mean, literally plastic sacks and bags, because they don't even know what to do with that. So everything is now plastic wrapped there as well, because now the world is open to them, and they just throw it in the streets. And I was shocked. I was literally shocked how they had literally no crime when I was there, because yes, very strict military regime. Now the prisons are full. They're building prisons and prisons and prisons because people are scamming people on the street. How an entire country and mindset changed due to westernized mass consumption, right? Now there's bamboo hoods. They're still living in the bamboo hoods, but now they have a flat screen, like a huge flat screen, a 52-inch flat screen with satellite dish on the bamboo hood, which I was like, what the hell is going on here? But it's just really shocked me. And that we made a very good point, where it's like, we have crisis going on in the world because we don't even look at the overconsumption that we're having. We're buying all this crap, and it all ends up in the rubbish bins eventually, like this plastic. How long does it take until plastic degrades? I think it takes forever, right? I mean, and that's what is, our landfills are full of that crap. And we still produce and produce and produce and produce, and we buy the newest Kindle, and then it's like they just came out with a new Kindle. I'm honest, I was thinking about buying it, but I have one that I bought last year. Why would I buy a new Kindle just because the screen is a little bit bigger? Hey, holy cow, this Kindle is still working and it's still not full. Even with my crazy book buys that I do, I still haven't filled it up. But it's just the ridiculous part. We always have to have the newest iMac, the newest iPhone. Look at the phones. How many times do we actually change our phone? I remember my first phone was a Motorola, the bone, the big bone thing there, which you had to carry around. Well, that was my first phone, right? I had that for years, for literally years. Now, honestly, in the last years, I have been switching my phone every 12, 14 months because that's what they offer me. But thinking about that, it's so fucking useless because my Samsung 10 was still good. Why did I have to buy the Samsung Note 20? It was not necessary, but I did anyway.
Do you feel like that comes back down to the whole should thing again, though? You should have it. You should want it.
Yeah, I think it's a shoulda, and yeah, I think that's a big story.
I mean, we talk about it a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Shoulding all over yourself. It's true. I should want it. And we're influenced by too many things nowadays as well, and not good things.
We don't go to the core of these things. That's the term. But I think, as you bring in a really too good point, because we need to look at the emotion attached to it, because there's a reason why we do buy that, and it's not because we just want to have the newest thing. But even then, if we want to have that, It's
Why?
because my neighbor has there's certain emotion. It is a bit of like jealousy. This is again an emotion. And
Hmm.
it's all attached to emotions why we do buy these things, because it's not the necessity. We don't have the necessity
No.
to buy these things. We just buy it because of blah. And that's where you have to, where you come in as a declutter coach and going like, well, look at that. Why are you doing that actually? Because we don't even ask the question ourselves. I love that about you. Why you're saying like, look at all these things. There are so many things. And actually it all boils back to inside, not the exterior. The exterior is just to get rid of it out of your universe space, out of your
Mm.
physical space. But it is still, you have, and why we don't throw it easily, because we are emotionally attached somehow to something. And it could be even anger. But how many people actually strive for anger? And that is the funny thing as well, which I see a lot with my coaching clients. Is like they tell me their emotions and I go like, but why are you hanging on to it? Well, because, and I said, well, but you know it's a negative emotion, right? Why do you want to hang on to that one? And then they bring up this, that comes to the 4 F's basically, where we go here, like, it's fear, flight, faint. I mean, it's where we go, there's always a reason attached to it, right? So they fear of losing something, which is ridiculous because it's a negative emotion. It is harming you. Why are you afraid to let go of it? But they don't see it. They don't see
Yeah.
it.
Because
I
often
don't
it's
know.
meeting a need, isn't it? It meets one of the human needs, and that's the problem. Whether it's
Hmm.
significance or the need for certainty, that's what I've sort of found. And I tend to find myself questioning that now because I understand about the human needs. And I kind of think, so if one of my kids kicks off about something, I think, right, what need are you trying to meet? By, do you know what I mean, speaking to me like that or by acting out in that way. And I try and look at things like that, but what I found 9 times out of 10 is that whether it's negative or positive, they're just trying to meet one of the human needs with whatever it is that they're holding on to, which is I wish more people would look at that and kind of work on themselves around it, because I think we could get a lot better with it.
Absolutely. And
So
now, oh, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
no, no. Okay, I was going to ask you a question, but please go ahead.
Yeah, I was. It just reminds me with this COVID thing. I don't want to talk about that too much because it pisses everybody off, right? But the thing is, when you ask people, how does it make you feel? How does COVID make you feel? Oh well, it's we didn't really have much a choice. Oh well, I kind of had to. Yeah, I said, oh okay, time out. I said, how did it make you feel? Does it pisses you off? Does it make you sad? People don't know what to answer, and that's another problem as well. People don't know how to express themselves.
Mm.
Why? Oh, well, why would I feel sad? I mean, I have no choice. That's the situation. Yeah, but you have the right to be upset. You have the right to be upset as well.
Yeah.
Sad or upset. And did you know that you can cry? You can be upset as well. You have a car for that. You can go to a car wash. Just for example, you go to a car wash and you get super upset and you release all this. I'm so pissed off, just just as a small example like that. And it's something that quite often we don't allow ourselves. We don't
Mm.
allow ourselves to feel and to express ourselves. That's an important part of
And
of
you're
getting
absolutely
better.
right there, Seth, because we don't do that, because this is what I have explained recently when I was talking about my trauma. Is I always had this mask on. People that have met me before, even if I was in the lowest point possible, they would have never thought I was not all right, because I always had this smile. They know me as this cheerful extrovert person. Well, actually, I'm an introvert. That might surprise a lot of people, but I said it the other day on the podcast. I'm actually an introvert. and I'm a deep thinking introvert. But the mask that I have portrayed to the people was always this happy, cheerful, motivational speaker, coach to the outside world. But inside, I was empty and dying. And to admit to that is really difficult. I have, and I've gone through that through a period because, as you said, I permitted myself to be angry. I permitted myself to be upset. And I can now, and I can actually release emotions, which I couldn't. For years, I couldn't cry. I was not able to cry, I tell you that. From the death of my mom, I was not able to cry. Now I can, because I tapped into my emotions. And because I accepted that it is all right to do that. And I don't have to be always this cheerful person, right? Of course, when you go on stage and you do a motivational speak, you're not going to cry. Well, yeah, I might even cry because when I talk about something emotional, and it's kind of funny how people cringe because they look at you and they cringe because they feel uncomfortable. But why? Why do we feel so uncomfortable with expressing emotions? It's the most human, basic need that we do have. And that's why mental health nowadays is such a big issue, because society has told us you cannot show. It starts with boys. Boys are not supposed to cry. What a lot of bullshit, honestly, right? But that's something that what people have been saying. That's how I grew up. Boys don't cry. Right. So why? What's wrong with it? It's an emotion. And if I keep it inside, there are all physical issues that come up. Not only mentally, but physically, because for me, all the stress I have eaten up, I had for the longest years, I had heartburn. I was on medication for heartburn 24/7 because I constantly was swallowing up all the shit. I was swallowing it up, and I was actually, cluttering my body with all these emotions and unexpressed feelings. And so it's really important to make this move and just let it out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people think. I really do think that we should be by now, we should have realized, and COVID was a very good example here. We should have realized during COVID that there's more to life than just our material bullshit that we have.
Absolutely.
People did for a really short period of time, but now it's almost like everybody's back to old themselves. I think they haven't learned anything. I don't know what you think, Kellyanne. I think they have learned shit all. Shit all, these people. And I'm really getting angry about it because I'm like, what have you not learned? What have you not learned? That there's more to your bloody Mercedes in front of the house. It's great you have the Mercedes, happy for you, but what the fuck? Can you maybe ask your neighbor how he's doing? Because every time I see him, he doesn't look really happy. Maybe he needs just this person asking for it. But we haven't learned shit all. We're back to our materialistic self. And that's like, it's really bad. It's really bad. So your work is really important because, my God, and I told you the other day when we had the call between us, because Estelle, I gave her pretty much a coaching session. That's what it turned out. It was actually a coffee chat we had, and then I turned out in the coaching session.
Yes.
And she was like, she was playing really small. And I said, you're playing too small, hun. You shouldn't play yourself down because you have a really important work to do and you're going to give value to so many people. So don't play yourself down. I think that's the most important thing.
Yes. And my alarm on my phone is ringing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go turn it off right away. It's going to take less than 10 seconds. Completely forgot about that. I'll be right back.
Okay, fine.
There you go.
See?
I forgot about that. And yes, You were right. Thank you for this. I needed somebody to tell me that yes, I was playing too small. So yes, that was the that I needed. I love
Love
that.
it.
Absolutely love that. Thank you. Yes.
Kellyanne knows me. I'm always like this. I always come up with these things. But that's why I'm good at it, because I'm now, it's like, I'm really big on procrastination and how to shift your mindset on things. And it's just like, you shouldn't dream small. And I mean, Kellyanne and I, when we came together, I said to her, the first thing I said, listen, we have to go big here. We're not going for small things here. We want to impact the world. We want to impact the people. And as we talked already about it, and it's like people telling us, or somebody said, yeah, but you're not going to be the next Tony Robbins. Why the hell not? Who the fuck are you to tell me that? It's like, seriously. And why can there not be another person? It is not only, it's like always like, oh, but be in your little coaching session like everybody does. But a million other people are doing that. And I told you that as well. That other people are doing that. That's all good. I'm not saying they're bad coaches. I'm not saying that. But they don't have maybe the ambition, neither the confidence as well themselves, to just tap into and saying, but I want to do big things. I want to do big things, and only these big things. And we can go here into law manifestation. We're already 2 minutes over the hour, but anyway, we could go into a deep conversation here about law of manifestation and saying, well, this can happen, but you need to actually put it out there. If you don't put it out there, and if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to be just this small coach, and you keep going at that. Nothing wrong with it. We need as well the small coaches that say that do some things. But me, and I think Kellyanne the same, and even you, Estelle, I think we are destined for bigger things. We are destined to impact people. We are destined to do the big things and not the small things. And that's why I say it's all good, but what are you satisfied with? You have to figure that out yourself, because if you don't know that yourself, then nobody can help you. But I think that's where a lot of coaches fail as well, because they don't see the broader picture. They are worried about their little coaching business, right? And they're happy with £5,000 or $10,000 a month. They're happy with that. But it's not even the money, it's the impact they're having. They're happy with 10 clients they have in a month. They're happy with that. But what impact are you doing with 10 people? Yes, you impacted the 10 people's life, but it's not the big ripple effect you want, because your message, like you declutter yourself in every aspect of your life, is a really important message. And millions of people can actually learn from that, because they would feel so much better, they would be so more confident, and they would be better placed actually in their life as well if they would do that, and if they would do this emotional work interiorly. And so that's why I think it's so important what you do. So there you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being our guest tonight. It was a pleasure, as really
Awesome.
for us. Awesome, because this is what it's all about. We love you. This is going to be anyway on replay, so if you have missed the thing tonight, so please do that. Actually, Estelle is going to be our guest as well, and she's going to be a guest speaker on the virtual summit on the 11th of November. I'm gonna release tomorrow the sign-up page. I'm almost done. So we had a little bit of an issue with Kajabi doing that, what I wanted to do. But hey, listen, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And so please sign up for the virtual summit, as we have Tony Babcock, who's talking about the authentic being himself. Amanda Rose, who is going to be law of manifestation, how you manifest right. And she is the queen of manifestation. Then Kellyanne is doing something which I still don't know. She will tell me in a minute, I'm sure. And then I am obviously doing the leap. I'm actually doing one of my courses on procrastination, and I'm going to show you how to stop your procrastination and get out of your head. So it's going to be a really packed day with a lot of great presentation and a lot of great training. So please do sign up for that. So anyway, thank you again, Estelle. Have a great night, everyone. And we're going to be off air in 2 seconds.